everybody. Welcome to another special episode of the Board Uplander Club show. I'm theMETAVERSr. So as you can see here, this is my login window. You can see my profile. I've made it to director. 8, close to getting to that 10 million for executive here. Now, in this part 2, what we're going to talk about really is how you're going to spend your first 1,000. Okay, whether it's the full amount up front or in increments. But either way, the strategy is to get to that amount because you want to be able to have your director block explorer designed for you by the great artists at the Upland Corporation. You'll get to see some of the gamification. You'll get to see why I personally, my paid member founders, also personally, all feel that Upland Metaverse Marketplace is going to be a premier place for Web3 activity. Again, that's gamification, that's shopping, that's event experiences, or user experiences. So, all right, let's get into it. So in the profile, you can actually look and read about what the statuses are. The onboarding, just for you to sign up, is pretty easy. It just requires a phone number, email address. Eventually, you'll have to connect your PayPal to the Tilia bridge between Upland and PayPal to work. If you're savvy with crypto, it does accept some crypto wallets, and we'll look at that in a minute, to purchase UPX, the in-game token in the monetary system that they have there. In here in the profile, that also will give you your stats, basically, my net worth total, meaning my liquidity plus property value, the number of properties I have, the number of collections that I've accumulated. Now, Upland as a company, as a platform, adds their intrinsic value to these NFTs for the, again, gamification of the platform, right? Go on, collect them all. We've heard that before. And so people do have incentives, particularly in the secondary market, to look for great deals on these collections, and we'll talk about them and look at them later, that give you extra yield booms, right? In here you see our most important stat is our USD balance. Here you can withdraw and add funds into it. Our other stat is our Spark. Now, I did mention in the first video what Spark is. It's the in-game token, not the monetary token, but an inorganic creation token. Currently, it is being used to build buildings. It'll eventually be used to manufacture home goods, decor first. There are a lot of great decors, and we'll look at that too on the map going on right now, manufacturing for us Uplanders to purchase to decorate the property around the buildings that are up. So as you'll notice that every time I mention a different aspect of the game, it's like a layer, right? First, we have the map. Then we have the buildings, and we have the decor. We have cars. We have, and then it'll just keep on growing from there. To eventually mirror the real world. So yes, helicopters and motorcycles and boats, oh my, they will all be in the Upland Metaverse too. All right, and again, just some really nice aesthetics, some visual tokens of what Upland looks like to play it. So over here on this side of the screen, you'll see our yield calculator. This tells us how much we're earning at each property. Now, these extra little buttons right here are the visitors that have gone to our place. Obviously, my store will have my highest visitor count. So far, I've only had 2. And these 2 sub-merchants submitted their NFT Upland assets to be sold, the block explorers, at my store, and we'll look at that too, the whole mechanism of that. All right, let's get into the gamification aspect of it. As you see on the map already, we have these orange dots along with blue dots. Let me go into my settings and turn on the marketplace markers. Okay, now this is the marketplace, meaning the whole map marketplace. So you'll see a bunch of green dots pop up that tell you which properties are available. FSA are for starters. As a business, you're not really going to deal with FSAs too much. That's something that is on the basic property trading gamification level. People that come into the game brand new at a very, very low to no cost to them are able to still participate in the platform by buying these properties that are locked specifically for them at a much lower discounted rate. So they buy them up. There are regulations to it so that there isn't any type of other more mature Uplander trying to take advantage of the system by creating multiple accounts. So there's a limit to how many you can sell at a week, and that allows for still the new Uplander to be able to participate in the gamification on the real estate property flipping side. All right, let's go. So you have orange, we have these blue. The blue is what we own. Here we're in Ridgewood, Queens. Throw up the map grid lines. Okay. We'll talk about strategy and gaming and all that stuff much later. We can do one-on-one. You can ask questions here in the comments. Find me on Discord, any of the other social media platforms that we are, and ask me why I do what I do with the way I do it. So here we have Ridgewood. As you can see, all these green dots popped up. So these are all the properties that are available for purchase within the platform as part of the real estate development. Now, real estate flipping game. But for you as the business owner, now here's when we start going with, put the calculator up. Thank you. This is where we're going to go ahead and itemize what these $1,000 are going to go for. Now, here in Ridgewood, New York, if you're familiar with the area, are a lot of places east of the Mississippi, really, their city centers are tightly packed like this. So the square footage, the UP2 in what is called on the platform right here, is according. So in this case, you have a 20. You can see my car right there. This is a 20 UP2, the square footage. That's how we know as Uplanders what we can build. Here are our buildings. Let's get a nice zoom into so you can see the graphics on this. So these are the buildings that would hold your businesses, your NFT businesses. They have capacities to them. They have living quarters to them. Now, the living quarters aspect is where Uplanders, who are early entrants, participants, stakeholders, they are able to build these smaller buildings, which have one living unit. So that means if they make it their home address within the game, they can't be used for anything else. Businesses, yes, later, but they are actually uploaded differently in the game. You have to register as a business, and that's a different process that we'll go through also. But now the UP2 stats, when we open them up, here's how much I purchased it for. That's the mint price, most likely. And then these are the earnings. Now, there's a standalone, and then with collections, as you can see here, this is part of the Queens and Newbie collection. If you have these collections already filled with the requirements, and we'll get into that in a minute, then you can't place any more. As you can see here, it's not boosted, so it's not in green. We'll look at one that's boosted, and you'll see the difference. And so, therefore, I'm earning the standalone minimum. So, land, property. Obviously, in anything that we're talking about building businesses in, we're going to need to know a little bit about real estate and how it works, not only in the real world, but there are metrics of like crypto and gaming that actually also do come into play when you're talking about metaverse land ownership. But 85% still straight up real estate tactics, skills, all that stuff that we know about property flipping in the real life, raw rental, leasing agreements, knowing what to look for in the property, not in the agreements themselves, because you're going to be owning this, but in what you're looking for, right? Location, right? Traffic that comes with that location, possibility of, because this is a metaverse. So in my opinion, you have to really play hard on the culture or notoriety of the area. So for example, in the game itself, of all the real estate in the game, Manhattan's the most expensive per UP2. And that's because it's Manhattan. You have the Empire State Building, all of these great landmarks. It's very small, the island itself, because it was released as a city, right? Manhattan is a city, so it was released as a city. So the rarity of the NFTs is limited by the number of properties. And we'll look at the Upixland website for that later to tell you how to gauge whether or not your investment is a good one. I do have this property here in a collection, so you get to see what that looks like. So here you see it's green versus, and then if I go over here, I can see which collection I have it in because it's earning 1282.39. It's earning in the newbie collection. Look at Manhattan, how built up it is. It was an early release in the platform itself. I was not around. I've been lucky that the properties that I have minted since when I joined in December of 2021, that they've been valuable enough to other more, we call them OGs, more of the established players that they can trade out some other Manhattans. Now, you'll see, just like in my LA map, I think a little bit like in Ridgewood, but in my LA map, once Los Angeles mints out, I'll be sitting in the same position a lot of these OG players are sitting in with their Manhattan properties. Manhattan being very well known, being a center of different kinds of cultures and industries, right? Now, the great thing is the better you know your market, the better you know where to shop in your market. I have a strong mantra within the club. It's called culture over collections. No joke. The amazing thing about NFTs and true ownership is that I can bring the same kind of perceived value, right? Worked on value that they have in Highland Park, for example. If you're from LA, you know Gelco Soda Shop. You've been there, you love the atmosphere, old school, and they carry some of the rarest sodas around, right? Culture, look, it's a national, or excuse me, a city landmark. And as you can see, all this land is available. The blue, dark blue, is my property. I own that. Baby blue, somebody else owns. Green, for sale. Everything else is wide open. And I think I have my FSA marker open. Yeah, I do. So if it were so reserved for it's FSA means Fair Start Act, for a new player, it would have this marquee, FSA. For example, Billie Eilish's home. I did at one point own Mark Maron's home. Scroll down the streets on York Boulevard, which again, if you're in Los Angeles, you know York Boulevard is a spot. It is a scene in Los Angeles. Check out the this building. Now, the great thing about Upland and the genius of it, which gives us the, let's say, blank canvas to be able to do something like this, is the fact that they just give us the address. They give the value and the yields, and that's it, right? Whatever's there is part of your imagination to be able to bring to the metaverse if that company wants to, right? So as you can see here, a lot of the value that we're trying to bring to these NFTs based on what where they're located is what's there, right? The visuals help because that then translates into the VR AR aspect. Take a look at one more property here. This one's a coffee shop. Gives us a better view of the building itself. All right. Side of the building. Here's the corner view of it. And like I said, the visuals just help with amplifying the AR VR of what we're trying to do here. Right? As you can see, this was priced at $15. We're starting you off with 1,000 because you have to get to that director B to have your logo, your image floating around with everybody else enjoying the Upland metaverse. So what we can do is find smaller, more boutiques locations like this so that you can have a large spread throughout a city. The Starbuckification of it, I guess you can say. You can Starbuckify yourself by having multiple locations. We can zoom out here. Now, if you're looking to be more prolific with your collection, like one flagship or one main place, there's still a lot available in Los Angeles and in other places that can be found for a decent price. Let's say you want to be settled in Bel Air, right? Well, if you're adamant about being settled in Bel Air, you can. As you can see, there are properties for sale. Yes, 50 million UPIX. That's $50,000 from Mr. Monopoly. But you know, to be his neighbor, you can mint one at $1,200, 1.2 million. But look at your yields. You're making about $30 a month if you have the third property here. Otherwise, you're making $14 or 14,000 UPIX. Now, this is a strategy that can be part of a longer play, waiting for things to happen, and then getting another location. So, for example, you get your one flagship, $1,000, and then you build it, and then you start your business here, right? Your metaventure. Then, as you earn this UPIX, 14,000 a month for 12 months. Let's do some of that math here. 14 841.65 times 12, you're looking at 178,000 UPIX per year. Now, this is still sizable if you're looking to open your second location. Let's zoom out. Now, that's Bel Air. It is part of a rare collection. Let me open that up so you can see what the collections look like. Now, I'm not here to give you a full tutorial on how to play the game. I'm showing you just parts of the gamification. We're going to get into like how you as a business onboard into Upland and then start a business with this in conjunction with this. So you have your 178. You say, let me go to another tier 1 city. There are 4: LA, San Francisco, Chicago, Manhattan. And you say, what can we get here? Well, again, it depends. You say, oh, okay, well, how about near the Embarcadero? So let's look over here. Here's Fisherman's Wharf. Here's this Coit Tower. We can zoom in. Okay, there are things available. Here is our marketplace listings that we can see. The cheapest is 149,000, and it's small. You would have what is essentially a micro cafe, something boutique. But you're in, and here's where we have to, as partners here, we have to come to a understanding of how you're looking to build your brand, right? The smaller boutiques, since that UPIX is essentially free because it's part of your returns, you can pick up something on Stockton Street for 149,000, right? Because you have 178. And now your yield's going to be terrible, but you don't care because the idea is I'm in a very highly desirable location with a highly desirable looking property. Again, these are the visuals that will be translated into the AR, VR aspect of the metaversing within the Upland space. So that's that. So that's San Francisco. Okay, so we're talking about how do I spend my first 1,000. Your Block Explorer will be free. It'll come with the depositing of the $1,000 into Upland as UPIX. Okay, so that's already moving forward. And we'll work with our design directors, and so they'll work together to be able to put together the JPEG visual and the Blender file for you to make sure that your aesthetic, your logo, your IP is protected and translated correctly into the metaverse space. As you can see, as you saw with my Block Explorer, Block Explorers are blocky. So some there you go. Some designs may not translate very well, so we'll have to reimagine it within this kind of aesthetic, this kind of design. Okay, and that's why we want to work together with you, and we want to be able to make sure that it's correct when we upload it to or send it off to Upland for uploading. Okay, so we've talked about where to find on the map where you're going at, what you're doing, Let's experiment with the crypto kitties. Zoom out because you'll see the whole map. These are all the cities that are open. Let me read them out to you: San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland, Alameda, Santa Clara, Fresno, and Clovis, Bakersfield, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Kansas City, New Orleans, Chicago, Nashville, Tennessee, Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, and the boroughs. Yeah, all 5 are open now. We including all 5 of the boroughs are open, plus Rutherford, New Jersey. All right. So those are all the cities within the U.S. They've recently opened up 2 international cities in Porto, Portugal, and Rio de Janeiro. Once we figure out what land, okay, we cross off the first one, right? We're land buying at that point. The last thing that we would then use those funds for is to build on that property. If you're going to go the route of having the one flagship first, and then working using your yields to expand, the whatever's left over from the initial 1,000 goes into the Spark exchange. So here's the exchange. They built out this really pretty looking thing. You go in here to register. You'll be able to see my player profile info. Okay, my bank account. Now, the way they go about this is you buy a property of theirs, they deposit a certain amount of that, a fraction of that property. So you can see here that I have a number of completed and a number of them going. So your funds would go to purchase property here from one of that they have listed at the Spark Exchange here. And as you can see, the price to purchase and the amount that is deposited. This way, all of these kinds of buildings, depending on the city location that you're in, you can go ahead and build out. Let's take a look at one of the projects I have going in San Pedro. I'm building out the downtown center here. And I've reached out to the local businesses here to begin onboarding them. You can see, eventually starts to look like a place where people would want to go to spend money. And because you're a business owner, that's what you want to show. There isn't a reason why we can't draw attraction, traffic to these locations with the help of having real brands believe in the platform, like I do as an entrepreneur. I have my brand in here too. Staked your $1,000. What kind of revenue stream comes after that? Here we have Atomic Hub. Now, Atomic Hub is the official, unofficial NFT marketplace for Upland NFTs. It's on the Wax blockchain, which is an EOS blockchain. Now let's get into this, because this is where your next 1,000 will go. To 2,500, but it's part of a mechanism. Sorry about that. It's part of a mechanism that will let you understand how you start to get your money back. All right, so you have your place going. We start collecting block explorers with some additional funds, but in the process of all of this, when we're creating your block explorer, your brand logo for the game, we'll be also working to create these kinds of NFTs. Now, as you can see, I have a bunch of this one kind, this old hickory here. This is what the Uplanders get for being a community member. Okay, they get one for being part of the community, just having one property or more. They get one for each building they've built, so incentivizing the buildings, right? And then they get another one that is custom made for them if they make that Board Uplander club community their home residence city. So whether it's San Pedro, Old Hickory, or Ridgewood in Queens, New York, you'll be able to get a nice little collection starter pack of these board Uplander community NFTs. Now you'll see that the max mint number here is 11,385. That's actually the zip code for Old Hickory in Nashville. It's 11,385, and the reason I did that is because there are about 15,000 properties in the part of Donaldson in Nashville that is considered to be Old Hickory. And knowing that there are going to be multiple unique owners of these NFT properties. And so I want to have enough of an inventory to be able to cover all of them. In this case, almost a one-to-one. I do expect people like me and other Upland stakeholders to be able to own multiple. So the unique number of owners of that area, it will be limited. Right now, those that have registered through our website, we have a count of about 19 unique owners in Old Hickory, Nashville. That being said, once these are all distributed, however many I have left over, the concept is to then begin attaching real world products, collectibles, merchandise, services that I can get from friends, other business owners here, to be able to attach to these. So, for example, let's say we have a video editing service attached to a giveaway that if you have 10 of these NFTs, okay, you can trade them in, we'll burn them, essentially eliminating them from circulation outright. So that 11,385 gets eliminated by the number of NFTs we burn, right? And if we're doing 10, 5 at a time, that number can shrink pretty fast. And they don't exist anymore. Once you burn an NFT, it doesn't exist. So it's like burning anything. And so, that incentivizes for this person, this collector, to get more of these NFTs. And I mentioned earlier, I incentivized building at that location in that area, more buildings to get more of these NFTs, or you can buy them, right? So for me, the way I'm incentivizing, I'm making money on this as a business owner, as an entrepreneur within Upland, is by finding products and services that can attach to the NFTs, add that cost plus my overhead in operations, plus a markup because I want to be able to keep this program going. And then I put it all together into a price. Building more to get one for free, well, there's a value to building. The smallest building is $10. The largest is $120. Right? So depending on the size of the building you get, I might give you an extra one, depending on how that giveaway for building or getting more is structured at that time. We want that whole area to be built out so it looks like a place for other people to come and shop and create their home living. And you ask, well, why do they want to do that? Well, that is somewhat the genius of this and why I personally like Upland a lot over Sandbox and Centraland, is that it creates local friction. To get to any place in the map, you have to pay to get a bus ticket, a train ticket, or a plane ticket. So that you're already creating friction through resources. Once you get there, unless you have a car, you're just wandering around aimlessly. There's the AI of the platform, I assume, the algorithm, just creates a random pattern of direction for your block explorer to travel. As soon as cars are given full function in the game, you'll be able to put your block explorer in your car and actually use the map grid, like you do your Google Maps or your Waze or your Apple Map, to get to somewhere. And that will require more resources in Spark. So there's this friction where, okay, kind of like we think now, is it worth it for me to travel 100 miles if it's going to cost me X number of Spark? Or do I just stay close, look for a store that I can buy what I need? Right. In the case of Upland assets right now, that kind of friction is based around the kinds of marketing campaigns I, as a business owner in San Pedro, Upland, can come up with to generate traffic. Now, I don't have to do too much to generate too much traffic because I am in Los Angeles. But for other smaller locations, I did put an application to expand my Block Explorer shops into Old Hickory in Nashville, and it's a much smaller market. Is being able to come up with that marketing campaign. And how do I do it? I have augmented reality capable hoodies, augmented reality capable property cards. The property cards are made out of building materials: wood, glass, slate, and metal. They have the stats that you see in a wood engraving or all right. So, for the real world, let's say product, right? Coffee is a great example. You can package it into baskets with other merch and stuff like that, and create an NFT that's special to that coffee package. Sell the NFT, and then deliver the package whenever the customer is ready. That's the one thing about this whole process is you don't have to keep a lot of inventory to deal with this form of e-commerce. Right now, if let's say you have an Amazon store, you have to source your inventories, hold it at your house, or send it to Amazon for a fee for them to hold it for you. In this case, if you're a coffee roaster, you still continue in your daily business, but you don't have to keep a select stock for this unless it's like part of a specialty coffee or gift basket. Now, when I say that, I have to go back to Upland and show you what the market value of some of these NFTs in Upland can be. Right now, block explorers are very highly popular. They have the most utility because they are your in-game avatar in a sense. Let me, we can just check out. Let me go to one that I know. This is one of the homies that has a store here. Here we go. The best, the best shop. There you go. Okay. Oh, the background on this one is missing, but as you can see, oh, there it is. Okay. Boom. So this is the storefront. Okay, as you can see here, the Block Explorer NFTs. They're priced to sell at this store here. They have pretty good prices. Here we see. Boom. Okay, so this is a really good example right here. This vampire adult body NFT. It's a really cool looking design. It is number 94 out of 250. Now, if you collect art, if you know anything about serial numberization or limited editions of anything, this has the same metrics to it when it comes to like why people would want it. One, it's aesthetically very cool looking. Two, it's somewhat rare. 250 copies of something is not that many copies of something. There are NFTs in here that go into the thousands. So this is a decent low count. And it's number 94. It's in the double digits. Again, if you ever try to get something in the double digits, single digits, double digits, then you got something good on your hands. But here is where you are going to want to pay attention. This is getting sold at $236. This is just a digital image. This store, this person has not attached anything like you and I are talking about to it. This is standalone, just the picture. Okay. Now, imagine if you and I work together to go ahead and put a product or service attached to this. Will that product or service be worth $236? That's up to you, depending on the product or service. But let's say it is coffee, right? Let's say it's a 5-pound bag of your best roast, comes with a coffee mug. You're probably looking at overhead, or retail sale value. Let's say retail sale value of $50, give or take, maybe 75 if you really play the hipster card hard. then you can go ahead and price your coffee that much. You attach it to this bad boy, you're selling that same coffee at $236. Right? Now, procuring this Block Explorer, I'm not gonna recommend you pay $236 or 236,000 UPIX for it. We have, like I said, there's a reason you want to work with a community like the Board Uplander Club is because we have the network to be able to source something like this for much cheaper, half price, maybe a third, maybe like a fifth of the price. Right. So that being said, you're looking at is market retail price, right? This is no discounts, nothing attached to it, no added value to it. You give it added value, people are going to want to pay this $236. Currently, my DBs in a hoodie campaign is $200 for a director, a one of one, okay, Block Explorer, plus the digital augmented reality real hoodie that gets shipped to your house, right? That's added value. So Crystal Block Explorers, I'll show you a lot of the merch later in other videos. But for now, this is where we're going. We're going to combine a number of these NFTs. As you can see, that's 200. There are much, much cheaper ones. As you can see, there's 40, 36. They go down to like $15, $11 sometimes. Those are the ones I personally try to scoop up because I can then use them at it's a very low entry point. $10, $11, $12, $15. It's a very low entry point. Okay, that gets me my, let's say, digital voucher, my artwork that I'm going to attach like something else to it. One campaign, and to the Upland community, I love you for this. That was very successful. Was I bought up a bunch of, when our stores came out, I saturated the market with Block Explorers. I bought a bunch of the I Stand With Ukraine hearts, the mustaches, and the Mother's Day drawings and vases, right? For very cheap, all under $10. Excuse me, $12, at roughly around $10. Well, I turned them around and sold them for 20 because I wanted to give that money to charity. My wife is going through her breast cancer treatments, and the Susan G. Komen Foundation is very close and near and dear to my heart. My best friend out in Ohio, Tirza, is also going through cancer. And well, you know, me doing this, using this platform, using these products, these assets in game to give back to that community, the cancer treatment community, the warrior sisters out there. You can excuse me, you can learn the metric of how this can translate to that kind of sale, and how the market or the community, in the sense, can respond to your campaign. Okay, that's now these are the Block Explorer shops. The other kind of shop in the game, which is starting to find its foothold, is called a legit. If your product or service is more sports geared, you can go to a sports store, like one of our founders here, Big Nick, has a store in Manhattan called Ultra Premium. They have, so Upland creates these really cool looking football memento type football cards. With Flow9, another founder who owns a shop, is to be able to attach real world collectibles. Like I said, I'm a sports card collector. I don't do football, but I don't mind getting into football if I can attach them to these really cool NFTs. So as you can see here, the really cool NFTs of the sports legits, as they're called. They're kind of like memento cards. Sports card collectors out there, you know what I mean. These, cards that have like swaths of a jersey or of a baseball uniform, bats in some of them, the equipment. Well, this is very similar to that. You have this cool 360, it's controllable view of the jersey. Now the partnership is with the NFLPA, so this kind of card is very similar to what we see today with Panini, Leaf, Donruss, and Fleer, but still have a tight partnership with the NFLPA, where the PA as a union promotes the brand of these players. So one of the great things about this is it's the Washington football team, but you're really banking on Dwayne Haskins here, right? This has the hard vibes of fantasy football. And there is a league starting up with the new season for fantasy football. So if you own some of these, you can put together a collection of 7 and then play them like you do fantasy football. Now, again, you go back and like, well, Eddie, MetaVERSr, what? How does this translate to me? The same thing. It's just a digital coupon, a voucher that you can use to attach your real world products to. If, like I said, if you're just a sports fan and you want to use these to attach them, then you can do that too. It'll trigger the same process. As you can see here, this NFT doesn't have the same number that the Atomic Hub NFT does, but if you go to the blockchain, you can see its transaction number, and that's what you can use as the coupon code in your browser. So however many number of these that you buy, you'd have to translate the coupon over to your website, and normal copy and paste, and then when the person goes to your site, goes to pay for it, they type in the voucher or coupon number. This is what comes up. Now, for security purposes, we can, figure out what other kind of mechanics you can use that will be able to, secure that the person who has this legit is the person getting the coffee, delivered to them or whatever it is. All right, so that is the legit store. So these are the two kinds of assets that we can find in Upland that are sellable right now. This is a proof of concept of what the stores would look like, of what your store would look like, right? Because this is a bridge moment, we're bridging you into it. We're going to start selling legits, get your brand name out there, get campaigns going, all of that stuff. Once we're able to create our own NFTs or upload the Atomic Hub NFTs that we created for you, then you can start selling those. And then it'll be your brand, your image, your whatever it is that is part of the gamification and economics of the Upland Web3 metaverse marketplace platform. It's a long one. All right, let's zoom out and take a look at what one of the newest kinds of stores that is coming into the game right now. They are building decor shops. Our friends at the Metaverse Ventures Entertainment has a store that I want to show you because they already have production going on. Here we go. Samurai Aquatics and Decor, as Ben likes to say. You click inside their store. Now, here is the mechanism, the ability to use Spark to create inorganic stuff for very specific building property decor that can be of your aesthetic, of your logo, of your style. Furniture designers, I'm looking at you, right? Furniture design, this is it. You want to find a place where you can sell all those vector files. Here you have it. So here we currently see what's in production. Ben68 and More Cheese Wax created these really nice NFTs, decor. One's a seating with a table. Once it's done, it'll be a 3D rendering that you can put on your property. We see it with Roblox. We see it with Minecraft. We see it in Fortnite, Sandbox, Blankos. All of these metaverses have merch. They have shit to put into the metaverse, right? Between the clothing, the character skins, buildings, and the furniture inside of it. Well, somebody created all that stuff. With Roblox, the genius part is that the kids did it. They put together the aesthetic they wanted. And created it, given the developer tools that Roblox put in place for them. All right, let's wrap it up. Yeah, that's pretty good for the first grand, right? Let's go. Recall. First 1,000, property buying, building, Spark Exchange, asset accumulation. That then triggers level 2. Once you hit the 1,000, you go to our level 2. Watch the next video and find out what that is. Until then, take care, everybody. Thank you, Upland community, for supporting the Board Uplander Club and showing the metaverse that it takes a community to raise a metaverse. Mint hard, but mint smart, y'all. Take care.